Everyone is telling you that this is the perfect workout split. No, this is the perfect workout split. No, no, no. I found the perfect workout split. But the truth is, they're all lying to you because there is no perfect workout split for everyone. There's only a perfect workout split for you. And in this video, I'm gonna find it for you. Welcome to the second episode of my football performance training guide. I'm Archie Watts, a football performance specialist and college soccer player. And in this series, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about training the physical side of your game. So let's find the perfect workout split for you. The first thing we have to think about, and the reason that there's no perfect workout split for everyone, is that your perfect workout split is one that fits your schedule. If there's no possible way that you can train on a Tuesday, then your perfect workout split obviously isn't going to have a session on a Tuesday. Likewise, look at your facilities. If you're someone that doesn't have access to a gym, then your perfect workout split isn't going to include a load of gym workouts because you're not going to be able to do them. The same with if you wanted to improve your speed, but you don't have access to a pitch or access to somewhere that you can sprint, then your perfect workout split isn't going to be one that includes a load of longer distance sprints and field sessions because, again, you're not going to be able to do that. So the first place that you have to start is looking at your schedule and being realistic about where you can do your sessions, how many sessions you can do, and what sessions work for you on certain days. One part of this schedule that is going to be the same for most footballers that are watching this is your training split is going to look different depending on what part of the season you're in. If you're in season, your training volume is going to be much lower than what it would be in the off season. So even your perfect workout split for the off season isn't going to work well for you in season because you don't want to have tired legs going into a game and you need to factor in how much recovery time you need from the games. And those two factors are going to be the most important things in season. So you're going to find this easiest to understand if we start from game day. If you've played 90 minutes in a high intensity game, it's going to take you 24, maybe 48 hours to recover from this game. So straight away, you know that the day after a game isn't going to be a great time to do a load of high intensity work. For most people, the day after a game is the perfect day to have a rest day. From there, you need to look forwards as to what the rest of your week is looking like. We're going to keep it simple to start with and say that you've got a game on the next Saturday. Now we have Monday through Friday to not only make progress, but most importantly, to prepare for your next game. And that's going to be one of the keys to your in-season workout split, is that your number one priority is to perform in the next game. That has to be the key for your workout split. So if we're looking at the periods where you're going to start really thinking and preparing for the game on Saturday, that's going to be Thursday and Friday, because depending on the work you do on Thursday and Friday is really going to impact how you're feeling on Saturday. For example, on Thursday, if you're doing a load of high volume leg work, then you're still going to have that fatigue going into the game on Saturday, which obviously you don't want. Now, if we look at the opposite end of the week, this is where your own specific recovery comes into play, because depending on how well and how quickly you recover and how you're feeling on Monday, 48 hours after that game, is going to determine what you want to do on Monday. If you're someone that has great recovery, Monday could be a high intensity session for you. And this would work well because you've got such a long time to recover until the next game. Whereas if you're someone that's still feeling fatigued from Saturday's game on the Monday, there's no point in going and doing something really high intensity like, say, sprints, because you're not going to get loads out of it unless you're able to work at 100% intensity. So that's where you need to make a personal decision on what that day is going to look like for you 2 days after the game. Now that we've looked at Monday, now we can look at Tuesday and Wednesday. These are going to be two sessions where you can really utilize that higher training volume and higher intensity. And you can use more fatiguing work because you still have that period of time to recover before the game. Say you've sprinted on the Monday, maybe you could use Tuesday as a upper body day as a slightly lower intensity, and then Wednesday as another high day as a lower body session. Or if you used Monday as, say, a upper body session because your legs were still feeling fatigued from Saturday's game, then maybe on Tuesday you can sprint, and on Wednesday you can do your lower body session. These Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday sessions, if you're playing on the Saturday, are going to be the highest in volume and the highest in intensity. Now, as we look forward to Thursday and Friday, rather than seeing them as sessions where we're making a lot of long long-term progress. Now we're focusing much more on short-term performance, making sure that you're ready and recovered to perform at your best in your game. But at the same time, you still have a little bit of potential here to make some progress. So typically I'd recommend having at least one of these 2 days as a rest day from training the physical side of your game. For me personally, and the way that I program for most of my athletes, that's going to be having Thursday as the rest day and then using Friday as more of a prep session. This prep session can look different depending on what your training goal is. For some people, they may just want to use it to focus on a little bit of injury prevention, some mobility. While other athletes, and me included, especially if it's a longer season, using this Friday as a chance to do some really high intensity work, but just keep the volume super low. So maybe we do a few sets of, say, trap bar deadlifts, keeping the weight slightly lower, maybe 70%, and also keeping the reps and volume low. Maybe 2 to 5 sets of 2 to 5 reps, focusing purely on the concentric, taking out the eccentric part of the movement as another way to manage fatigue. That's just a nice way and a nice example of how you can still get some high intensity work in that isn't going to fatigue you for the game the next day, but can also prep you for that game. Now, if on the other hand, we look at your off season, now we get rid of that period of preparation that you have every week leading up to your games. Instead, you can just focus purely on longer term performance. Your training week as a whole may have a higher number of sessions and will typically look more like that Monday to Wednesday period in season, kind of expanded across the entire training week. You still want to have at least one rest day within that period of training, but for the most part, the overall intensity and volume can be much higher for you. Another factor that you have to think about when determining the best workout split for you is what your training goal is. What this is going to determine is where the best location is to do your sessions. One of the biggest mistakes that so many footballers make is doing all of their physical sessions inside the gym. And the gym can be a great place to increase strength, increase muscle mass. But if you're looking to improve your overall performance as an athlete and you want to improve qualities like speed, agility, power, doing some of your workouts on the pitch is a really nice way of doing that because you're able to train qualities that are more specific to the game. Great examples would be sprints of, say, 30 to 40 meters. Most of you aren't going to have space to do that in your gym, whereas if you go down to the pitch, it's really easy. The same with accelerations. Within the gym, you may have limited space, you may not have a place where you can accelerate, whereas on the pitch, of course, you have that space. Another example and exercises that I personally really love would be repeated directional plyos. Again, can be hard to do them in a gym, but super easy to do on the pitch. On the other hand, if you want to purely increase your strength, the pitch isn't going to be a great place to do that because you're limited by your body weight. Whereas in the gym, you have all of the tools in the world to be able to increase your strength. So use your training goal and the priority of what you want to achieve in your training to determine the best place to be training. For me personally, for every 1 to 2 sessions that I do in the gym, I want to be doing one session on the field. And that session on the field isn't the technical side of your game. You should be doing that almost every day. That is a session that's purely focusing on the physical side, the sprints, directional plyometrics, accelerations. Now that we've looked at how the season affects your workout split and your training goal affects your workout split, let's look at the frequency of your training and how that's going to affect your workout split. If you're only doing 1, 2, even 3 sessions a week, then you're going to want to focus more on full body workouts, training your lower body, your upper body, different training qualities, all within one training session. The goal of that is just to increase the exposure you have to these movements and help you make more progress by training these movements and these important movements more frequently throughout the week. For example, I typically recommend that my athletes are sprinting 2 times a week. If you had only 2 sessions a week and you had 1 lower body session and 1 upper body session, immediately you've excluded sprinting from the second workout and you can't get that in. So that's one of the reasons that full body workouts work great when the training frequency is a little bit lower. You can use this same logic going 4, 5, 6 sessions a week. You could be doing full body sessions for all of these workouts as long as you're managing the training volume and intensity appropriately. But typically when we get into these higher training frequencies, people like to divide up their sessions into more focused areas. Now, traditionally within the bodybuilding, powerlifting world, the 2 kind of most famous and most used workout splits is the typical bodybuilder split. So that would be breaking up individual sessions to focus on 1 or 2 body parts. So you may have back and biceps, chest and triceps, and legs, or push-pull legs, which will look pretty similar to the one I just described. These workouts are going to be much higher in volume as they're trying to break down the muscle within that training session with the goal of improving muscle size and muscle strength. But as a footballer, you probably know already, your only training goals aren't going to be muscle size and muscle strength. Yes, you may want to make some progress in those areas, but improving your speed, power, agility are likely going to be much more beneficial to you. So how can you design a workout split that's going to help you do that? There's a few different ways that you can do this. I have two examples that I really like for athletes. So one would be super simple, and that is just a lower upper split. So one day you do a lower body session and the next day you do an upper body session. And this is going to help shift the focus slightly more to the lower body while also giving it time to recover. Within this, I also use the high-low method. So that would be that these lower body days are going to be higher intensity because typically sprints, squats are going to be much more taxing on your body and your central nervous system. Whereas movements for the upper body are slightly less fatiguing. And because your upper body is probably less important to you as a footballer, you can get away with a slightly lower training volume on these days. Another great workout split example is what I like to call the athlete version of push-pull legs. And that is day one, doing a speed and power session on the field. That is going to be great because you're going to be fresh, ready for that session. The next day, doing a lower body session, and the next day doing an upper body session. And again, that just shifts the focus slightly more towards the lower body. If you're running that twice in a week, gives you 2 chances to get in the field, 2 chances to hit squat movements, and 2 chances to build up your upper body. So let's try and summarize everything that I've just shown you really quickly to build up some example workouts for you that you may want to steal. So if you're in season or you have a slightly lower training volume, maybe 1 to 3 workouts a week, you're going to be looking more at full body workouts. If we go into 4 days a week, maybe we can get 2 full body workouts, 1 lower, 1 upper. Going into 5 days a week, maybe we use the athlete version of push-pull legs for the first 3 days, take a day off, and then we could do a lower upper. Going into 6 days a week, maybe we could run that athlete push-pull legs twice. So we'd be going sprint on Monday, lower body Tuesday, upper body Wednesday, sprint on Thursday, lower body Friday, upper body Saturday, rest day Sunday. Hopefully now you have a much better idea of how you can build that workout split for yourself. If you've liked this video, then please drop a like on it. And if you have any individual questions about the best workout split for you, then drop them in the comments. I'll get back to you with what I think the best workout split for you would be. Other than that, I'll see you next time.